Hello friends, welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. Today I'm going to be exploring 4 cool cards. They're all kind of in that fine line between being just rare and, tough to find because there's not many of them out there, and also into that realm of being scarce because I think there's a pretty good demand for some of these, even if the population is, something you'd think would be somewhat readily available. So let's flip it around and dive in and check them out. All right, friends, let's jump in here. This one's an interesting issue. This is labeled when I bought it as being a 1970s issue, which obviously with who it is and the uniform he's in makes perfect sense. This is one of the tougher ones. I actually had to reach out to a couple of folks and just ask, does this look okay? Does this look legit? It's something I've never seen before. It's something that when I searched for it, this version did not pop up. And these issues, these advisories are so tough. You just kind of don't know what is, just extremely impossible to find because it was, sent out. Maybe it was only sent out for a year and most of them got thrown away. No idea. Not even totally sure on, distribution. I don't think these are like rewards. I don't think they were given out with gloves. Maybe they were sent as little displays to stores. Maybe they were sent out for advertising just to send with product and said, display this near the baseball gloves for the season or something. I don't know. But this is a Reggie Jackson, obviously. I just thought the image was amazing. And the challenging thing with these is you kind of have like a range or a realm of what something could be worth, but when it's uncomparable, someone said this is 20 bucks. I hope a bunch of people buy it. If someone said it's 2,000 bucks, there's less buyers. If it's somewhere in between, you're kind of just trying to figure out okay, for this much, do I want this? So this is kind of the ultimate in rarity, which, rare is supposed to be based on supply, scarce is supposed to be based on demand. So if it's rare, that means there's not many of them out there. And that's really what this is. So, by nature of being rare, it's going to feel scarce. But I don't know if I said this was $5,000, there's not many buyers. So I don't know if that's really, which direction is being the driver of this thing being not often sold or having no transactions. But I can't find proof this exists except for this one. So kind of neat. I will take that. I like those. I will always pay up a little bit for that because to me there's a lot of value in something that is really rarely seen and kind of an unknown item. This one I picked up from a friend, and maybe I'll explore because I've picked up a couple from him. A new friend, we'll say. But somebody that had this listed online and kind of reached out to him indirectly through a different source and said, hey, what about this one? What can you do? And he's very, I think, kind on his new pricing off of the platform. And so we were able to strike a deal and add this one. So you guys know I have a true joy when it comes to M101-2s, and I love the 4 and 5, kind of the smaller card series. 7s I've added. I've got the Babe Ruth and some others. 6 I'm hunting for. 1 and 3 I actually have on the way. M101-8 is apparently a ghost. I think there's 1 graded ever. So just for perspective, I think if there's only 1 graded, there's probably not 74 sitting in somebody's basement. I'm going to guess that's going to be a long-term chase. And this set actually is a very tough one as well. This is M101-9. If you've never heard of this or seen this, I don't blame you. That's kind of where I was not long ago. So I loved the M101-2s. So I started diving in. I'm like, what's an M101? Something else. So there's 9 M101 series. This is M101-9. I believe there's 3 team issues, and they're even larger than this. And then I think there's a DiMaggio and there's a Bob Feller. But they are a 1939 issue. So being 1939, you get a very youthful... I haven't even seen the DiMaggio, so that's kind of on the scope of how rare they are. I haven't really looked at it, but I wouldn't mind adding DiMaggio at some point. The team ones are maybe less interesting to me for the era and who they are. And then the Bob Feller I thought was phenomenal, and it was very reasonable. And again, it's something that, even the image is something you don't see duplicated. And I just thought, to add this set for a reasonable investment was pretty gosh darn awesome. Of course, they're blank back. They're inserts like anything else. And of course, you're going to see with any of these, they were probably tacked up. So I think there's holes in all 4 corners. Let's see if I can get this to kind of show up here. But it's still just like the other M1012s. You get the actual date that it was issued. So I thought, super cool item. Nice couple I've had in the collection for a little bit, but I don't know if I've shared them. Let me see if I can get this to pull in a little bit tighter. This is one of the weirdest little exhibit issues. So this year, when you look at different issues, and some of the years they've done this, I think this is 29, they will add these crazy colors. I'm not sure why. Sometimes they're yellowy. Some issues have green tints and blue tints, and obviously this one has a little bit of a red tone to it. But the opportunity to pick up a card like this, so it's the George Haas as the only player on there that you probably didn't purchase this for. So you've got, pick this thing up and take a look at it. You've got Gordon Cochran, Mickey Cochran, Jimmy Fox, Jimmy misspelled, come on guys, Robert M. Moses, Grove, Bob, Lefty. These are, some of the issues are completely blank back, others aren't. I love that. To me, that's one of the most awesome, distinguishing, cool, just validates that it's authentic and original and real and everything else. I just think it's awesome. So I love seeing the writing on the back and who it was that was going to be sending it. They didn't stamp it. So I guess they never sent it, maybe. That's a bummer. Cut coupon on this line. Kind of crazy, right? I do buy a lot of these things ungraded. I will say I am very cautious on the source. So this is another big time, very reputable dealer that now knows that I collect, Lefty Grows. So we stay in communication when he comes across something kind of cool, unique. Sometimes he'll shoot me a message and say, "Does this one work for you?" And either I'll say, "Yeah, I've got that one. That's awesome. Thank you for keeping me in mind," or I'll say, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Where are we at on that?" And sometimes I can actually add a new one to the collection because of that. So that's the value of letting folks know what it is that you collect and what it is you're looking for. So the Lefty Grove for me was what drove this, but when you get Mickey Cochran and Jimmy Fox as a bonus, that's an awful nice bonus. And the last one I'm going to show you that I think really crosses, I don't think it's that rare. This set's not super rare. I don't think this is any kind of like short print, but it's an awful cool item. So I believe collectors have a tendency to hold on to this one a little bit more than maybe some other ones in that set. So 202, T202. I really have been, I feel like I loved this set when I was a kid, and then maybe as an adult collector I kind of got away from some of these because you end up getting some players sometimes you're not really aiming for, so it's a little bit tougher. You get your favorite player along with someone you've never heard of, it maybe takes away a little bit from the item for you. In some cases, you will end up with a couple of Hall of Famers, or you'll end up with maybe a player you're looking for and maybe someone you're not, but that middle image is amazing. So you get these, you get Ty Cobb and Tris Speaker and the $100,000 infield, and you get all these different images in the middle that really just add a new dimension. So it's a little bit oversized, obviously, compared to it's a little smaller than like an exhibit. But you're essentially getting a T205, little bonus card in this T202 issue. But also, the back is super legit. So if you couldn't tell who this was, it's Tinker and Chance. But then what makes this really cool is in the middle is an action shot of Johnny Evers. So you have Tinker, Evers, and Chance in that order on a issued card. And the write-ups on these, honestly, are pretty phenomenal. So let's see what these are. You will notice these things are typically creased. And this is a perfectly preserved, loved example from the era, because you end up with creasing usually on the edges, kind of where someone maybe tried to fold it and didn't quite do it right. And a lot of times you'll see one right down the middle of the image, the middle image, because someone just took this whole thing and folded it in half and tossed it in their pocket. What I like about this, though, is until I get to about here, you can see it pretty well there, but when I just have this sitting on a shelf, because of the colors, the design of it, it kind of goes away. I mean, it's there. Now you know it's there. And it's fine. To me, it doesn't detract at all from the eye appeal of the card and item. But to have a Tinker, Evers, and Chance all in the same piece is phenomenal. So if you haven't checked out T202s, I would say give it about a year. I think that's about right. I've got a couple more I want to get, so just stay away. You should have no interest for about the next year. If you're watching this video after a year, have at it. It's an amazing set. It's a great chance. They tend to sell at a little bit of a discount over other sets of that era, so you can pick up some of your favorite players for a little bit less than you might have expected. You get these cool middle images, so even if you're not seeing a player on the sides you like, you might still be able to pick up a Collins or a Tinker or somebody like that. Not Tinker, Speaker, or in this case Johnny Evers, paired with Tinker and Chance, which is just super cool. So that is what I have for you. These are 4 cards that I think are at least rare in some cases, and in this case I think this one's pretty scarce, but I don't think it's all that rare. So that's what I have for you. I will catch you guys on the next video. Take care.